Hello there, I didn't see you. Love is patient, love is kind. I'm going viral. Today I'm filming my first webisode for my radio show and my first topic is love. So support your girl. All my listeners around the world, call in and help me and our other listeners get a feel for how love is different all around the world. Now my first question for all my lovely callers is, what do all my listeners think of role reversal? I mean, do y'all think that a man could ever be a stay-at-home dad while the wife makes the money?
I think that will be more difficult to happen because men still have that culture of the man of the house and all that, so.
I think we still have a lot of that, like the man goes to work and the woman stays at home, but it's changing. Now the man can stay at home too. It's still a bit weird and people don't accept it well, but it's better. It's getting better.
Oh, I'm not from Portugal, so I don't.
Oh, where are you from?
India. Yeah, that's fine because in India right now, even when you are dating someone, they also want the girl and the boy to be earning well. It's not only about the guy.
Interesting. Over here in America, my day in life is definitely different than my mama's and grandma's. Now I'm curious, is dating between generations different in your countries too?
Yeah, from my parents, it's the only difference is the cell phone, the texting and stuff. But from my grandparents, they tell me that they used to date and they didn't kiss each other, they didn't hold hands, and now that's normal for us. My parents, like, they had to meet to, like, start dating and, like, have a conversation really, and nowadays we just, like, what's your name, and they just kiss.
Oh, there was no dating in my parents and grandparents. It was all arranged marriage, like your parents would just get you married off. But now there is more dating, like it's becoming more and more acceptable.
Well, I mean, our parents were more conservative. I mean, they respected their partners. I mean, these days it's just dating, and some people just date for fun. There's no commitment. Like our parents, they were more serious. Cheating wasn't something that was quite popular.
In the older days, we couldn't be in the streets, maybe holding hands or kissing in public. Now we can do it even more.
I feel like everyone I know is getting divorced. Do y'all agree with me?
With the crisis, it's raising because people have lots of discussion because of money.
Ugh. Normal people can get divorced 2, 3, 4 times and nothing happens. And now, it's a lot faster. Before it took a long time. Now, in 2 months, you're done. And it's not necessary to be stuck on the man and the woman. Inclusively, it's also getting more common not being married. A lot. And now, instead of matrimony, there's this thing called concubinato. It's when they don't get married, but they've been together for years. But they get almost the same rights as a married couple. After 5 years, and you have to prove it. After the 5 years, it's a new law that just came out that goes to all the couples, gay and all.
Now this is a touchy subject for some people, and I'm hoping my girl Kim Kardashian calls in to answer. But I just need to know, how are interracial couples viewed in your countries?
In the past, like, if you see a white person and a black person dating, or a white person and a colored person dating, it would be something like, whoa, it never happens. But these days, like, it's more common. We're getting used to the fact that interracial relationships, so it's something that's becoming the norm.
I think my grandparents probably have a very different view to our generation now. It's normal. But we're a very multicultural country, like we have a lot of different cultures, and I think just having traveled around Europe, we're a lot more accepting. When you're friends, when you go to school, when you're friends with people from different cultures, it's not like just the colour of the skin.
That's what's up, that's what's up. Now, since we're on a controversial topic, what are your country's views on something like gay marriage?
I think America is more liberal when it comes to relationships because we don't see a lot of like gay marriages and gay relationships and that sort of stuff, so it's kind of like straight here.
They have the same privileges and rights as a normal couple now because the previous government imposed this. that all the couples, gay or not gay, whether it be a woman with a woman or a man with a man, they all have the same rights.
Okay, y'all know how I love my movies. Now I'm just curious, how are relationships shown in your country's movies versus American movies?
I don't know many Portuguese movies, but in the American movies relationships don't last long, and that's kind of different to my life.
In America it's much more like open. We already see gay marriages, and here it's not. We don't have a lot of movies in Portugal, but in America it's more liberal.
American movies maybe are more romantic, I think. More romantic. Portuguese are more aggressive.
Indian movies are really unrealistic, like it's just like boy meets girl and then they just fall in love in some strange way and they don't really show, you know, like what goes on in a relationship.
I know I watch my soap operas all the time. Do you think that media affects your romantic life?
It influences like a lot. I mean, especially television series, and so we try to, I mean, even people like kids who are like 12, 13, I mean, they watch these series, they watch these and they want to experiment, and they also want to do what Americans do, or people in the media do.
Yes. People are very influenced by the media.
I definitely think Western movies do have an impact, because I told you in Indian movies it is still the old cliches. But I mean, when we are exposed more and more to Western stuff, then that makes it.
Now I know you all follow me on Twitter and Facebook. Do you think social media has affected our love lives?
Yes, it has. It really has. Social media now, basically we mostly text people, and we, like, I dare say that we don't really meet as much.
Social media like Facebook, WhatsApp, people, I mean, that's where most relationships start, and that's where people meet people.
They're more comfortable on the computer, they can talk more, they can say more about themselves, and then more easy.
The internet influenced dating a lot, and also the media. In Ghana we have one called Ebony. You meet all kinds of girls on it. Their telephone lines, their email addresses, and other things.
I know my girls and I have seen it all. How are age differences in relationships perceived in all your beautiful countries?
I mean, the normal things would be like 2-3 years, or the same age. So, you know, here everybody does whoever they want, and there's no taboo about it. I don't know if the word is known to you, taboo. It's okay.
Yes.
It's really not a big deal, the age difference. As long as you're sincere about what you want, that's okay.
Oh, honey, I know all about taboo. Speaking of taboo, I'm just curious. Is there any British people out there who share my idea that Disney movies had something to do with the William and Kate wedding that was watched all around the world?
Yeah, I've heard interesting things about how girls are brought up on Disney films and how that does influence the fact that they expect a Prince Charming to come and whisk them away. So yeah, I imagine if you see a story like William and Kate where, it was the prince whisking the poor, not that poor girl. But I think there are certain things about that relationship anyway which make it permissible by the royal family. I think she obviously is nice and they like it, but I don't know if it necessarily would be like people. I don't know, people like me, because for people, don't they? You like to see pretty people in the news and look up to.
Oh, now I love me an unexpected romance like that. Now, is economic status important to a relationship?
Yeah, I don't see no problem unless the person that is poor is taking advantage of the person that is rich, take all his money. That is wrong.
No, that is also not so acceptable. I mean, someone from really rich can date someone who's not so rich, but it's not like the completely people who don't have anything. No, it's not common for them to be dating people. Because I think it's more social, like they're uneducated. You can't you can't be with them. They just, they don't. Like the interaction won't be the same.
Now, are there any callers that know why all these changes are happening?
And the things have changed because of this. Because the woman works. Because she has become independent. Women can now live and raise her own kids, whereas before she couldn't if she didn't have a man. She couldn't raise her own kids. Now she can, in her own way. There are a lot of benefits that help women.
I think it's just the opinions are changing. I mean, I don't think it's acceptable to the parents. Like, they still think it's unacceptable, but the younger generation goes ahead and does it anyway.
I think it's political reasons. I don't have the same opinion. I think the world is changing. That a piece of paper doesn't make you stay in a marriage for years. No. The people don't get along and separate, and done. I think it's normal. I don't think you should be with someone for years if you don't get along. It's hard being together. But for me, it's fine.
Do any of my callers have anything to say before I move to my expert on the topic of love?
It's changed massively. Like, just between, like, I'm 23, and between the people who are 15 now, it's just, you can see the difference. Like, it's much more open.
It's definitely changing.
Like, parents also, like, they're a bit like, oh, if my kids are doing it and I can't do anything about it, so it's becoming less true.
I hope that more love will exist. Love to all human beings.
Now I have my love guru, Professor Harry Freeman. He teaches a class on the science of love. Harry, can you tell us some things about the topic of love?
When you talk about globalization, one thing we see with globalization is a movement towards individualistic values. And one aspect of individualist value is the right to self-determination. Every individual has inalienable rights, and laws would be based more on individual rights than on community or family or societal rights or values. And I think with that comes greater flexibility and more liberal thinking with regards to gay marriage, intersex, sexual minorities, whether we're talking about lesbian, gay, bisexual, transsexual, or cross-race, cross-marriages and dating that cross socioeconomic or racial or geographic boundaries. We see more liberal thinking in that regard. And you see that generationally and you see that cross-culturally with globalization.
Thank you to all my amazing listeners and my love expert, Professor Freeman, for giving us all this insight on how globalization has changed love. All the topics we talked about, like social media and the media as a whole, rising divorce rates, women becoming independent, acceptance of interracial and gay relationships, and all those other amazing topics we covered today have really showed us that love has become more open-ended. Globalization has helped overcome prejudices that once stopped the love. This is because we live in such a changing world where the exchange of ideas has become so easy. There is more opportunity to love and be loved. This is your Hot Cup of Talk with Atlanta, Georgia. Love is patient, love is kind on 97.3.